Oh, okay.
All right. Welcome back to Time Out with J&G. It's Jay over here. It's G over there.
Yo, what is going on, everyone?
And today we are back with a very, very special episode, man. It's the preseason. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, this is a special episode because this is our first in person podcast, I should say, or like live podcast. We've been doing it. We did it on Spotify for a while, and then we went to the PlayStation party. Do it that way, but we decided let's step it up a game and let's do it this way. And scheduling conflicts and just like it's just not feasible for the distance we live apart to do it in person. So we're just gonna do it over here like this for a while, and we'll see how things go from there. But as
Yeah.
you saw from the title, we're doing winners and losers of the NFL preseason so far. We're down 2 weeks out of three, and what this Saturday's the last week of it, right?
Yep. And then they have a bye week, and then we start the actual games.
Exactly. So, before we get into that, how you doing, man? Are you ready
I'm
for
doing.
this?
I'm feeling great. I'm ready for it.
All right, it's definitely a interesting dynamic. We're not used to this kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
it's pretty different than normal.
yeah, so if we ever like start like getting out of camera frame or like kind of not paying attention, it's just because we're not used to being on camera. So yeah, bear with us on that. Yeah, exactly. Bear with us on that kind of thing. We're new to this, man. Don't worry about it. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into this, man. We got a lot to talk about. Not a lot
Yes,
of time
we
to
do.
talk about it. So let's go ahead and I'll let you take the lead here.
All right, so we're gonna start out the episode talking about college season. College football is officially starting this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
The late game on Saturday is gonna be like 12 a.m. our time, being played out in Hawaii. It's Delaware State at Hawaii.
Ooh.
Delaware State, not too much about them. I know they missed their 10-hour flight. I think yesterday. I think they missed
Did they
their flight.
really?
Yes, they missed their flight.
Oh.
So instead of getting out there, I think sometime Tuesday. Now they're flying out today. So that's gonna be a little interesting.
Do you think it'll make do you think that'll make a difference, like an impact on the actual game?
I mean, it's a day. It's a day later than what they wanted to. Then you got to figure the time zone difference from
Mhm.
going from Eastern time all the way to Hawaii, which I think is like maybe a 6-hour difference or about. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, because what time zone are? Because they're not in the West time zone. They're even further past that.
Yeah, it's a crazy time difference between the two, and also Hawaii, their starting quarterback Brandon Shager, he was going to transfer, came back.
Mhm.
He led the Mountain West Conference in passing yards and passing touchdowns with 3,542 yards and 26 touchdowns. Hawaii had a all right season. They didn't make a bowl game, but if they want to make a play for the Mountain West, they're gonna have to get into groove, and they're gonna have to blow out Delaware State. They're gonna have to find their groove early and fast.
Yeah, I mean, are we giving predictions for this?
Yeah, I think Hawaii is gonna blow them out. I think the spread is like 40 points.
Oh Jesus, isn't that bad?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and I
I
mean,
didn't realize.
Braden has just been getting better, and I think he's gonna go crazy this game, and it's gonna set the tone for Hawaii this season.
It's on Spectrum Sports pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's all but impossible to watch a Hawaii game. You got to get lucky if they're playing like Boise State or something like that when they're playing at like 10 p.m. our time.
See, yeah, that's what doesn't make sense. It's not like there's gonna be any other games on. Why not just put it on TV?
Hawaii could have like a contract thing over it or something like that, but
I don't even know what Spectrum Sports pay-per-view. Jesus Christ, I don't even know what Spectrum Sports pay-per-view is.
it's their own.
And
It's like trying to watch a Hawaii game is pretty much trying to like watch a UFC pay-per-view. You got to pay a certain amount of money to watch it.
kind of like the WWE shit too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
I'll just go with your spread. I don't know much about this game. Hawaii, they're just a cool team. I want to see. Yeah, if they got a 40-point spread. Then yeah, I guess I'll go with Hawaii too.
all right, the next game we have SMU at Nevada. Now
Mhm.
SMU, I believe it was either this year or this past year, went to the ACC.
Yes.
So they made a move. They are favored by 25 over Nevada. SMU, they're going to try and be contenders for the ACC championship. They got to come out. They got to hit this ball, and they got to get it rolling. Nevada is coming off a 2-10 season. So they did not have a good season last year, but anything can happen. But I do see SMU easily winning this game.
Okay. Yeah, I honestly I love college football. Again, I don't know much about these two teams. I'm obviously a huge Penn State fan. I don't want to say obviously. I guess you guys wouldn't know that, but I'm a huge Penn State fan. Um, so that's kind of like I just kind of watch the Penn State games. I this is maybe this is a hot take. Sometimes college football is hard to get into for like teams that you're not
Yeah.
fans of
Oh yeah.
because like I mean it's it's like the one of the most like what's the word I'm looking for? Like the player movement, like the players are just constantly gone. Like
Yeah.
you find a player you like, and most of the time they're going to be a junior or a senior because they've been there for a couple of years, and then they're gone. Like they're in the NFL, so it can be tough to keep up with your favorite college teams, and then much less teams that you're not a fan of. So honestly, I don't know much about SMU and Nevada. When I think of SMU, I'm trying to think. There's definitely a quarterback I know that went there, and I don't want to look it up. I don't want to look it up.
I don't remember a quarterback, but I know a running back that went there.
I'm gonna look it up anyway. Who's the running back you're talking about?
Eric Dickerson.
Oh, duh. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that, but I could swear. And this guy's not really like a crazy a crazy quarterback, but I know he's in here. If I can get it to pull up here, Pro Football Reference is being a little bit slow.
I say the only quarterback at SMU that I can really think of is I think his name is Shane. I think he's like third or fourth on a depth chart. Not 100% sure.
No, I'm talking about alumni. Like they were quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I probably should have. I didn't. Garrett Gilbert. Shout out the Cowboys for like a little bit of time. There definitely was a quarterback. Maybe I'm thinking of a different school.
You might be.
Because I'm looking through the Josh McCown.
Okay.
Josh McCown. Okay.
There we go. All right.
I knew there was somebody. I just could not. Yeah, okay. Well, like I said, not a huge name, but Josh McCown's a long-time journeyman quarterback. So shout out Josh McCown, SMU.
Yeah,
I got them upsetting Bengals, Nevada school. All right, next game.
All right, on to the next game. We have FCS Montana State at New Mexico. Don't get it fooled here. There's maybe an FCS team, but Montana State is one of the better FCS programs.
Mm-hmm.
They were, I think, the 6th seed. I think they were the 6th seed in the FCS playoff and ended up losing to North Dakota State, which we all know about North Dakota State.
Yeah.
But Montana State, they are a program from the FCS that you do not want to see. They are actually favored by 11 over New Mexico. I think Montana State is going to win this. I'm going to be honest. New Mexico didn't have the best year last year. I believe they went 4-8.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not real familiar with New Mexico, but I'm pretty sure they're not that good. But Montana State getting a win here would be big and would give them some momentum heading into FCS play.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Montana State as well. I am familiar with this school, funny enough, compared to some of the FBS schools. But also because screw New Mexico, because I made a quarterback on College Football 25, and I was the starter I played the last 4 games of the season as a freshman, started.
Okay.
And won my last 4 games. We didn't make a bowl game because we were like 0-7 when I took it. Like we were bad when I took over.
Yeah.
And I finally got to play. I'm like, man, sophomore year, it's ready. Them boys, they brought in a fucking senior quarterback and put me back on a bench.
Damn.
I got out of there. So
Damn.
screw New Mexico, screw the Lobos. Actually, no, that might have been racial. Screw New Mexico. I got Montana State in that one.
Hell yeah. I like Montana State in this one. Now, for the big game of the week, Florida State versus Georgia Tech, and they're playing in Dublin, Ireland.
Aye.
So Florida State is favored by, I believe, about 10.
Okay.
But we all seen what happened last year between Florida State and I believe it was Georgia in the bowl game. Georgia dog walked them. It was not even a contest. But on the counterpart, Georgia Tech, they used to run the triple option. And in the past, I don't know how many years exactly it was, but they got away from it and started running, like a typical normal offense for a college team, and they
Yeah.
haven't been doing so good. And
Yeah.
Georgia Tech finding themselves in this space with a Florida State team that is top 10, I feel like this is prime for an upset week 0. Even though Florida State's top 10 in the nation, they are the better team, quote unquote, but I'm taking Georgia Tech to upset Florida State week 0. I think it's going to be a single possession, single score game. I think it's only going to be like 3 or 4 points, but I feel like Georgia Tech is going to come out and punch Florida State in the mouth, and Florida State is going to take a little bit to answer, but they're going to answer, but it'll be a little too late. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm going to take Florida State in this one, just for the reasons you said with the way they got absolutely manhandled in that bowl game. I think they are going to come out as this is going to be a statement season for them, or at least that's going to be. I think that's the idea behind it. I think the idea is a statement season by them to show that, hey, last year we got screwed, as they would say, out of the playoffs
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Um, so I think they're gonna like this season to come back and kind of like stamp, be like, hey, we deserve to be here. You guys aren't gonna leave us out this year, and I think that starts with playing. I mean, I guess they're not really. Who's technically the home team in this one? Does it I know they're in Dublin, but is it Georgia Tech?
I think so, because on the ESPN website, I think it was Florida State at Georgia Tech. So I guess Georgia Tech is technically the home team, but it's a neutral site.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks for Georgia Tech too, losing a home game to Ireland, because that's one less game you get to play in your own stadium. But yeah, no, I don't like that. I think Florida State. It's going to start with Florida State coming out week 0, going overseas to Ireland, and just beating up on a team of Georgia Tech that, like you said, they should beat Georgia Tech. It's just just team wise, they should beat Georgia Tech, and I think that's how their season starts this year, with wanting to put a stamp on last year.
Absolutely. And one quick thing before we really get into the stuff, I want to do a shout out to Brandon Aubrey. Man, a 66-yard field goal in the
66. Yep.
If it would have been in a regular season game, I don't like how they do this, but if it was a regular season game, it would have tied the record.
Yep.
And there were reports that it may have been good from 70.
Yeah. I watched that game. Well, I didn't watch a lot. I just watched parts of that game, and I did see the kick. It tied Justin Tucker's record, and you remember when Justin Tucker made it, it bounced off the crossbar.
Joinked it.
Aubrey, he had, I think, he could have comfortably broke the record. Even a yard back, he would have broke the record. Yeah, I think 70 would have been about the spot where it's like when you hit 70 yards, it would have been like it might have doinked, it might not have, but he had a real shot at 70, and that's our guy, man. I mean, Dallas has been lucky for most of my recent memory with having great kickers, whether it was like Dan Bailey and now Brendan Aubrey, who, if you remember correctly, Brendan Aubrey didn't miss. He went 35 for 35 in his first to start his career.
He went crazy.
He has some yips at the end of the season and then into playoffs, which kind of goes on par with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But you know what? He's a former soccer player. He's one of the best kickers in the league already, and I'm super excited because, I mean, it's an underrated part of the game. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you want to have your top quarterbacks, your top running backs, your offensive line, your defense, but like having a guy like the Ravens have had the luxury of Justin Tucker the past 10 plus years, where it's like, yeah, you get to the 40-yard line and you're like, okay, I feel comfortable enough to let Justin Tucker walk out there and kick. And that's the spot now we're at. Yeah, that's the spot we're at with the Cowboys now that we have with Dan Bailey. Once you get to the 40-yard line, it's like, okay, we can, if we don't pick it up, we can send him out there and we're going to get 3 points.
Do you think he's going to have a chance to break the record this year?
If based off him kick, I mean, obviously they're going to let him kick in preseason because it doesn't matter. It was going into halftime, whatever. But I do think seeing him so easily make that kick, they're not going to shy away from letting him try it. Because if you know one thing about Dallas and Jerry Jones, they like media attention, and him breaking the record would be a lot of media attention because it's, again, Justin Tucker's record. So yeah, given the opportunity, I think they're going to let him kick it.
Can you imagine 3-point game, 3 seconds left, and instead of going for a Hail Mary to win it, they kick a field goal to tie it, and it's like a 69-yarder?
Nice. I could see it though. I could definitely see it, man. I don't know. He's one of the few spots of this season I'm excited for, and it's kind of crazy to talk about a kicker that way. But again, it's like some of the best kickers of all time. Huh?
Kickers are people too.
Yeah, exactly. Like some of the best kickers of all time were interesting to watch. So I mean, It's a good bright spot for this team right now.
And just seeing him with his journey getting to the NFL is also kind of crazy because didn't he play soccer and he was in like the UFL or something like that, or USFL, and Dallas finally gave him a shot and he just absolutely tore through the kicks last year.
Yeah, man. He's a really good kicker, one of the best kickers in the league already, and he's only going to go from up from here. Blah blah blah. What the hell? Sorry, I'm trying to type in something else as we're finished talking about that.
You're good. So we want to get right into the NFL winners and losers from the preseason.
Is there anything else you want to hit before we got on there?
Not really. Oh yeah. Well, this is going to tie into my first winner, but it can wait for right now.
Well, go ahead. You can start with your first. We'll do this. We'll do, you do a winner, I'll do a winner, then you'll do a loser. Like we'll go back and forth like that.
So my first winner is Bo Nix.
Okay, I Bo Nix is one of my winners as well. So we'll just go. We'll talk about Bo Nix.
He went 8 for 9, 80 yards, 1 touchdown, and a 27-2 win over Green Bay. He's been playing great. Like I think he had 3 drives against Green Bay. All of them resulted in points.
Mm-hmm.
And just a couple hours ago, I think about an hour ago, he was named the starter.
Yes.
He was named the starter for this team that we didn't really know what they were going to do and anything. But if he can continue playing like this into the regular season, this is going to show why they went up and got him at 12 when all the quarterbacks were kind of just flooding off the board.
Yeah, I'll be the first to admit, you guys heard it from both of us, I think, in our when we talked about the NFL draft, that we were shocked. We were shocked by this pick. We didn't like the pick. Traded up to get a guy like Bo Nix at 12 just didn't feel right. And again, it's still super early, so I don't want to say it's like I don't want to eat my words yet and be like, oh, like we were wrong. Because again, it's still super early. He hasn't played. He's played some preseason downs, but nothing real regular season yet. So we still have to see that. But he's looked good. Like you said, his drives are ending in scores pretty much consistently. You said, like every time you read out the stats. I'm trying to pull up his stats here, but the computers were going a little slow here. You said it was 8 for 9?
In the win against Green Bay, it was 8 for 9, 80 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, and I mean, Green Bay's defense, it's against a lot of like backups and stuff like that. So I think you have to take that into
consideration.
Yeah, consideration. Like that's why, like I put some stock into preseason, but not too much, because you get to see these guys in live action for the first time in the NFL and see how they kind of read NFL defenses and like their decision making. But they're not playing against the best of the best. They are, but not like the actual starters, your everyday starters.
Yeah.
So you know what? Like I'm if the Broncos can find a quarterback, that'd be dope, because we've kind of had this. It's been a thing since Peyton Manning's left that it's like the Broncos are a quarterback away. They're a quarterback away. They've had such a great defense. They've had good running backs. They just have not had a quarterback, and that's what Russell Wilson was supposed to be.
That didn't turn out too well.
Yeah, just between him and some of the other team fell apart too with injuries. So it just didn't really work out. So bringing in a younger guy, he's older than both of us, which is kind of crazy. He's 24. But still, I mean, still young. He's still got probably 10 to 12 years of quarterbacking in his body. So they got time, man. They got a good defense still. They got some receivers. Tim Patrick is finally going to play football again after like missing the past like 2 years with leg injuries.
Yeah, it was crazy. I think he was the one that caught the touchdown pass.
Yes, he was. I think I saw. Yeah, it was his first touchdown in like 900 plus days because of a couple injuries. So it's like that's the guy that I haven't seen the field in a long time. They let Jerry Jeudy go, or that was part of a trade or whatever.
I think he got traded to the Browns, I think.
Yeah, so they still definitely need some help in the receiver room to make things easier for Bo Nix. But you know what? Listen, if you can find a quarterback, that's a huge start, and they already got the defense to help. So this Broncos team isn't going to be – I don't think they're going to be great this year, but they might have something going here with Bo.
Yeah, I think they have the upside.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the upside. So what's your first loser?
My first loser, I hate to do this. It's the Minnesota Vikings. This is like they just they had a lot go on this offseason, and they had the death of the corner. I don't want to make sure. I want to do this justice. Kyrie Jackson, and then 2 former college football players were killed in a car crash overnight. That was back in the beginning of July last month. So that was a big deal for this organization. Rest in peace to Kyrie. That's nuts. JJ McCarthy obviously is out for the season now with a torn meniscus. I have not seen an update on Jordan Addison.
I thought it came out that he tore his ACL.
Did that?
I'm not sure. I know Hawkinson tore his ACL last year, and he's not. I don't think he's going to be available to start the season.
Yes, Hawkinson's going to miss the start of the season.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison dealing with significant ankle sprain. It's from August 20th.
Okay.
So
I must have just got him and Hawkinson a little confused with the injury.
Yeah, because he was carted off the field, and that was going to be a big deal. And I'm looking here. Apparently, Vikings. I guess O'Connell did reassure fans that Addison avoided a major injury. Although it's not a major or season-ending injury for Addison, he did suffer a pretty significant ankle sprain. Jordan Addison expected back the week leading into the season opener. So they're thinking he's going to be able to play week 1, which is a good thing. But again, I guess that might be something you have to kind of watch as the start of the season because, again, it's a significant ankle injury.
Yeah, and say that's more just keeping an eye on it and hoping the swelling, everything goes down, and there's nothing structurally wrong with it.
Yeah, they're not 100% sure if he's going to play week 1. It's still up in the air. They're playing it looks like I think they're playing the Giants week 1, it says. So, I mean, that would be a game for him to maybe just get some run in towards the end of the game if he's not feeling up to date. Let's see here. I'm trying to pull up if ESPN will load. I try to pull up their injury report. It's just not loading. I don't know what's going on here. Vikings provide injury update on TJ Hawkinson and Jordan Addison. Let's see if it gives us a timetable. The earliest they think TJ Hawkinson, huh?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. The earliest they think TJ Hawkinson can come back is October 20th.
Okay.
But they still don't know. And that would be against the Lions' former team.
That's tough, especially with an ACL. You don't know how it's going to heal, how the physical therapy is going to go.
Yeah. But with the Vikings being a loser, they got obviously their starting quarterback out for the season. Yep. Their star tight end out for probably all but half the season, depending on at least the first 4 to 5 weeks. Obviously they have to deal with the tragic death of Kyrie. And then I don't know, man. You just got a lot going on with this team, and I think this is a year they're really going to struggle. They're going to be bad this year, and it sucks because this is a team that has pieces to be a good team. We've seen it before. They have the best receiver in the NFL, I believe, in Justin Jefferson. They have a great number 2 in Jordan Addison. It was again on injury report. We don't know if he's going to play week 1. We don't know how long. We've seen this kind of thing before. This is kind of comparing in a weird way, but do you remember what was that 2 years ago? The Clippers, Kawhi Leonard in the playoffs, played the first 2 games of the series, and then it was said that he was dealing with a thigh injury. And they're like, oh, we're going to set him out game 3. It should be fine. And then it came out that he's done for the season. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So it's and I'm not putting that on Jordan Addison, obviously, because it's still super early. But this could be one of those things where it's they're going to say, yeah, we don't know if he's 100% week 1, and then it could turn into week 2, week 3, week 4. We don't really know when he's coming back. And it's at that point, if we're bad, we should just let him rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. So the Vikings, I think they've had a rough offseason. Obviously, a lot of it's not in their control. So, yeah, they're my first loser.
Yeah, my first loser is Daniel Jones.
He's one of my other losers.
Honestly, he is coming off an ACL tear, but he went 11 for 18, 138 yards, but he threw 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
2 picks. One of them was a pick 6, and he shouldn't have even thrown that ball.
It was awful. It was an absolute awful play.
Yeah, I was a believer to think Daniel Jones comes back this season, does good, but after seeing that, and I don't know. I don't think he's the quarterback that the Giants thought he would be.
I honestly, and I know it's easy for me to say this as a Cowboys fan, but I've never been a Daniel Jones guy.
Yeah.
I never even saw the appeal of drafting him as high as they did. I think it was either like 5 or 6, or something like that. A few years ago, never saw the appeal in it. Duke quarterback just doesn't sound like it's gonna work out. I'm sorry, like it just doesn't. And I don't know. He's never been that accurate. He had that one season, was that 2 years ago, where he was a decent running threat, and we're like, oh, maybe there's something there. But it's just he's never been a good passer. You can argue that he's, for the most part of his career, did not have a good offensive line and didn't have receivers, and I will fully accept that. But they're working on building their offensive line now. They draft Malik Neighbors. They have some stuff. They brought in Darren Waller, who wasn't very good for them. Like uh, they're trying and working on receivers, but the fact of the matter is, he can't place a ball. He can't accurately throw a football most of the time,
No.
and it simply doesn't matter how you could have the best receivers in the league. If you can't hit them, then there's nothing. It doesn't matter. They can't do anything
Yeah.
about it.
If you can't get the
Um,
ball to him, it doesn't matter if you have the best receivers or not.
exactly. So I've never been a Daniel Jones guy. It's been nice being in the division, playing him twice a year, because it's honestly been 2 free wins for the past like 6 years, even before Daniel Jones. Um, but
Yeah. Giants have been pretty bad for a little while now.
yeah, so Daniel Jones, man, he is one of my losers. I almost just didn't leave. I just almost didn't put him on his list because I was like, damn, it just might be a given that he's a loser. Like it might be too easy to be like Daniel Jones. He's just like, yeah, we know he sucks. But
That's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's why I was thinking about the Vikings, but because of all the injuries, I thought it was like kind of like low hanging fruit.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just like I said, I was a believer in Daniel Jones. I was thinking he was going to turn it around, but after this, I can't defend that. Throw like,
It's
I
just not there.
not.
No. Let's jump back on to winners. Who's your next winner?
My next winner is Xavier Worthy.
That's a good one. I was debating putting him on, but I didn't. That's a good one.
So like, in the last preseason game, hold on, I just gotta. He had 3 catches in 6 targets. He had 62 yards and a touchdown, which included a 39-yard reception from Patrick Mahomes. What we're seeing from Worthy is something we didn't really see. We haven't seen in this Chiefs offense since Tyreek Hill. And obviously, Tyreek Hill is one of the best receivers in the league. But just the pure speed aspect of it. Xavier Worthy is probably just as fast as Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
He did. Xavier Worthy did break the 40 record, I do believe.
Yeah, it was like 4-2-1.
Something like that. It was crazy. I think it might have been 4.20, but it was insanely close. But he did beat it, and just having the speedster to rejuvenate this Chiefs offense and be able to take the top off the defense, which will allow Kelsey and Rashee Rice and Pacheco and their other wide receivers to just be able to get into space and make more catches and be open more.
Yeah, I really do like Xavier Worthy. I was hoping Dallas would have got him, but we didn't. Um, he's a good, yeah, like you said, speed is something that the Chiefs offense has had for a long time. I mean, hell, you can date back pretty like Jamal Charles. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just a speedy team for years and years and years. And obviously Tyreek Hill, the fastest guy in the NFL. Honestly, I saw like a video of obviously the I recently found out this word is copyrighted. Probably it's not going to bother us, but just to be safe, the O games, the recent O games that are going on in Paris this year with all the sprinters, the world, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
The big O games happens every 4 years. That was
Oh,
just
okay.
happening in Paris.
I got.
Apparently, like the actual word is they're weird about it. So, but that obviously like some of the fastest runners in the world, and they put up a line of Tyreek Hill's like high school track speed, and he
Yeah.
was like, I mean, he was like in 3rd or 4th place compared to them, but he was keeping up with like world renowned Olympic track runners. So like,
Yeah. That's,
not only is
that's
this one of the fastest dudes in it, yeah, and not only is he one of the fastest dudes in the NFL, he's one of the fastest dudes in the world, and obviously losing him because Tyreek Hill's much more than just speed. He's also like a fantastic receiver in itself.
absolutely.
Um, but now you bring in a guy like Xavier Worthy, who's Again, I don't think he's faster than Tyreek Hill. He did break the 40 record, but I don't think on a down by down basis he's faster than Tyreek Hill. But a guy that is it's lightning fast, and we know Patrick Mahomes loves throwing that ball deep.
He
So
does.
it's gonna be big for them. Like I said, they got Rashee Rice, who's we talked earlier. He's got some stuff going on, but I guess nothing's happening to him. I guess the NFL just doesn't care.
I guess not.
Obviously Travis Kelce. That I was actually debating putting the Chiefs offense in this winners because of the way they've looked at behind the back pass that Patrick Mahomes made. And then even they said in the interview it wasn't planned. And Patrick Mahomes said he was pissed at Travis Kelce because Kelce ran the wrong route. That's why I threw it that way. But no, Xavier Worthy's a fantastic player. I think he's going to fit in perfectly.
Absolutely. So now on to second losers. Mine is Young-Ho Koo.
Dang, you're not gonna let me get mine off?
Sorry, man. I'm excited.
I'm trying to find the exact stats, but my second winner was Gregory Rousseau, the defensive end for the Bills. And I hate to do this to you, but I'm bringing up that Steelers game for reference.
I know.
I think I thought it was 3 sacks, but I think they downgraded to 2.5.
It was 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 sacks. And we talked big when I think our question for the AFC teams, we talked about like this Bills defense got shredded. They lost a lot of people. Like how good is this team going to be? And again, it's preseason against the Steelers, and I have something later I'm talking about with the Steelers. I'm just gonna bring it up. I have something later I'm talking about the Steelers, but he looked really good. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The biggest thing for a defense is having a good front seven, having a good pass rush.
Absolutely.
And if Gregory Rousseau can really step up and be a top tier pass rusher, it's going to mask the rest of that defense and how kind of poor they are at some other positions. And it gave me a little bit of hope. I'm still not completely bought in on the Bills because, again, their roster isn't great outside of a couple guys. But it definitely helped me buy into the idea that, you know what, front pressure can make the rest of the secondary that's not very good look good. So shout out Gregory Rousseau. Shout out Gregory Rousseau.
Shout out to him. Hopefully he has a great season.
Yeah.
For the Bills, he really needs to have a good season.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so on to the next losers. I have Young-Ho Koo.
Damn.
And the reason I have him is he went 2 for 5 on his field goal attempts last game. Yep. And we all know with kickers, they are not on that long of a leash.
No, they're not.
They are not. He missed from 40, 45, and 49. But with how this Falcons team has been rejuvenating their defense, I believe they signed Justin Simmons.
Yes, they did to a 1-year deal.
Yeah, and then they traded for Matthew Judon, which I mean you can say it'll change the defense. If not, they made some moves to improve the team.
Yeah, for sure.
And if your kicker cannot get you extra points or cannot kick field goals from 40 yards out, you're not going to be there that long.
Mm-hmm.
I love Young-Ho Koo. I hope he can get these misses corrected and he can dial it back in, but he can't be missing like this.
If I remember correctly, when he started his career, he was really damn good. He was one of the best in the league. And then he got cut like 2 years ago too. Like this isn't the first time this has happened to him. If I remember correctly, a couple years ago, he got cut and we were like, oh, that's kind of surprising. And then he's not been very good since. So I don't really know what's going on with Young-Ho. I love saying his name. It's hilarious. But yeah, man, like I talked about the Cowboys a little bit earlier. Like it's such a luxury to have a guy you can trust to kick that ball because I mean, kicking is a very hard job. You sit there all game. Obviously, like maybe extra points you hate, what I mean? And then if you're on a kickoff, but for the most part, you sit there the entire game, not really doing anything, and then you're asked to walk in and kick the 50-yard game winner. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like it doesn't matter that you've been doing nothing that entire game. That entire game is now resting on your leg and if you can hit it or not. And then your team is going to love you or they're going to hate you depending on obviously what happens from that kind of thing.
It's crazy. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say it's crazy to think that they're paying some of these quarterbacks, $30, $40 million. And it comes down to the kicker who's making maybe about $2 to $3 million.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
But, it's like I said, it's such a luxury to have a kicker you can rely on. But when you have a kicker you can't trust, it makes the offense so much worse. Because now it makes your head coach overthink everything. Because it's like, damn, like you said 42, 48, 49, something like that.
Yeah, 40, 45, and 49.
Okay, so like those aren't exactly like chip shots. Like those
Yeah,
have some distance on them, but
yeah,
they're also like kickers are consistently hitting from 50 plus nowadays. It's just the way that
yeah.
the league is, the way the
Like
league.
like Brandon Aubrey, I think last year he went 10 for 10 from 50 plus.
Exactly. So it's like, and unfortunately, like those sub 50 is almost routine nowadays. It's just like
Yeah,
you're expected to make sub 50, and if you're consistently missing those, you're going to find yourself without a job very, very quickly. Because there's been some really good kickers in this history that it only takes one or two down seasons and they're out of the league. They're done.
yeah, and it's crazy to think, but it's just how short of a leash that they're on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Yeah. I said Bo Nix for a winner. Greg Rousseau is a winner. So I got one more winner and one more loser. What do you got?
I have one more winner, one more loser.
Okay. You want to start? Let's start with the losers and finish off on a high note.
All right, so my last loser is Aiden O'Connell.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because last year he started 10 games for the Raiders. He went for 2,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, 7 picks, 62% completion percentage, was not the best. But coming into the season, it was kind of his job to lose, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last preseason game, he went 14 for 20, 96 yards, 1 touchdown, and a pick that got returned for a touchdown, I believe, to start the fourth quarter. He didn't play great, right? He didn't play great, but he just played bad enough to lose the starting job to Gardner Minshew. Now, that's nothing against Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is a good quarterback. We've seen it before, Minshew mania. But Aiden O'Connell, this was his job to lose, in my opinion, and he lost it. Like, he didn't play bad. He played good, but just wasn't good enough to keep that starting role.
Yeah, like Aiden O'Connell should be getting the snaps.
Yeah,
Let's be real. This, if you want to look at this team, Aiden O'Connell should be getting the snaps, but he's not been able to play out. He's not been able to outplay Gardner Minshew, and yet Gardner Minshew is a fine quarterback. Like, he says Minshew mania, but like if you're a young quarterback trying to take over a team, you should not be losing your job to him.
yeah,
And I also find it kind of weird that the Raiders are going with Gardner Minshew.
yeah. It's a little off-putting.
Especially because their star player, Devontae Adams, came out and said publicly that he wanted Aiden O'Connell to start over Jimmy Garoppolo last year.
Yeah.
And talk about wanting. So then now you're going to start next season by putting him again behind a mid-tier veteran quarterback. Devontae
Yeah,
Adams is going to like that.
I don't know the angle that they're trying for. And I mean, they brought in, I believe, Brock Bowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did a couple other offensive moves, but this team is on the younger side. And I feel like bringing in a young quarterback that he didn't have a bad season last year.
Yeah.
For 10 games, he didn't do too bad, but they should have went with the youth, in my opinion. And Aiden O'Connell, like I said, not a bad quarterback, but he just, I don't know. It's a weird move, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially like, again, you're in a weird spot because you have one of the best receivers in the league with Devontae Adams. Other than that, though, that team's not very good. They have a decent defense.
They did.
So it's like, they have pieces that it's like we want to be competing now, but they do not have the quarterback for it. And neither one of them, Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell, are gonna lead you deep into a playoff run. Unfortunately, they're just not. So it's like, where do they go at this point? Do you trade away Devontae Adams and just go try to build yourself into a rebuild and go with Aiden O'Connell and then like start trading with some of your older veteran defensive players? Or do you like half-ass hope Gardner Minshew can get you into the playoffs?
It could be that, or how many more? Don't they have Adams for like 2 more years?
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe my opinion they should went with Aiden O'Connell because he has the higher ceiling. He has the potential, in my opinion. He's got more potential than Gardner Minshew because Gardner Minshew is about what we're gonna see from Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
I just think Aiden O'Connell has the potential. He's got that higher ceiling that they should have tried to tap into.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know. That whole Raider situation is just really strange to me. I don't know what's going on there. I think they should go with Aiden O'Connell just for the fact of your star player saying that's who he wants to be his quarterback is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a team that's trying to figure, because like even if you decide, yeah, we want to go with Gardner Minshew, then it's like, okay, now you're just going to cast out Aiden O'Connell, that he's just not going to be anything for your team. Gardner Minshew is a Band-Aid. He's not fixing his team long term. So
Oh
it's like
no.
now you have to go back into the draft and try to find another quarterback that you want to trust with the team. So it's like all you're doing by starting Gardner Minshew full time is you're just kind of you're like putting a Band-Aid on a flesh on like a you're like it's like cutting off your arm and then putting a Band-Aid on it saying we'll deal with that later.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? I know it's kind of graphic, but it's a big issue that you're putting a tiny little patch on and just prolonging it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
So
is.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it, but I guess that's why I'm not the head coach, I guess. I don't know.
All right, what's your last loser?
My last loser is the Steelers quarterback room.
I thought you were about to say the Steelers in general, and I would have agreed still.
The Steelers have had an interesting offseason, and honestly, I think a lot of people jumped on the Steelers train this offseason because of the additions of Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. It's like, okay, we got the older, veteran, proven guy in Russell Wilson, and then the young, unproven, but a lot of potential guy in Justin Fields. It's like let one learn from the other, and kind of over time, maybe the idea was Justin Fields ends up being the franchise quarterback for the Steelers, which was always a bit of a stretch plan. Like that was one of those things where it's like it's a I don't want to say high risk, but it was like
a medium risk, high reward.
Yeah. Honestly, kind of a low risk because not really a lot of people wanted Justin Fields, so it was a low risk, high reward. But it's a high reward that's like super like out there, like it's not very likely. But I do like Justin Fields, so I don't want to talk down on them. They've just not been good. Neither one of them have been good.
I think I was gonna say I think the best quarterback out of that room so far this preseason for the Steelers was Kyle Allen.
He's the only one to throw a touchdown pass so far.
Yeah.
The other two have not been able to get into the end zone.
Have they even produced points?
I think they've produced a couple field goals. I think it was a couple field goals. I don't think it was week one. They didn't produce anything.
No,
but I think they were on the field. They got the field goal last week. So I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they've played 6 or some quarters and they produced 3 points.
Yeah, it's not great.
And it's like it's preseason, so you don't want to take too much stock into it. But a guy like Russell Wilson, we just expect better from. I understand he's had his down years in Denver, and people don't look at him the same way they used to look at him in Seattle. But 3 points in 6 quarters is kind of unacceptable. Insane. That's unacceptable. I don't know what's going on in this room. They the saying, when you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. And right now, it's kind of what it's looking like for them because they got 2 guys they want to put out in the field, but neither one of them look like they have any neither one of them look like they should be starting. So I don't know what's going to happen. I thought a lot of people thought it was going to be the opposite problem where they were both going to look good. It's like, oh shit, which one do we play? It has been the complete opposite.
Yeah, I mean at this point, start Kyle Allen.
You're right. Just go for the tank. Embrace the tank.
Nah, I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird. As a Steelers fan, I'm hoping the switch flips between preseason and regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Or in this last preseason game coming up, something happens, but I wouldn't put money on it.
So let me ask you this: as a Steelers fan, Kyle Allen, I know he's done the touchdown, but he's going to be on the bench.
Oh yeah, he's going to be QB.
If you're looking at those two right now, from the way these first 2 preseason games are going, which one is your week 1 starter?
I'm probably going to go with Russell Wilson just with the history. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been competitive in the league for most of his career. You know, he's a veteran. You know, he knows what it takes to win. And I feel like with the team around him, as long as he can get into that group, he can win. And if by week 6 or 7, it's not producing, or maybe even week 5, throw Justin Fields out there.
Oh, that was going to be my next question. My next question was how long of a leash do you think Russell Wilson would have?
I think week 4, week 5.
Okay. Now, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
If we're if we're 2-3 heading into week 6, I think you start Wilson. But if we're 1-4 or 0-5 heading into week 6, you start.
I mean, it's no problem. You guys are going to finish 9-8 either way. So
probably.
You don't got to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna win at least 2 games. against the Ravens.
Damn, that's hey. I like the confidence, man. I say the same thing about the Giants, but the difference is one of those teams is good, and the other one's not.
And one of them teams that has only beaten us once in the past 4 years. So
that is true. Yeah, that is very true. That's very true. So that's my last loser. Let's go and finish off on a high note. Your last winner.
My last winner, maybe a little bit of surprise, but it's Drake May.
Okay.
He didn't look that good during camp. He didn't look that good for a little bit. But in his last preseason game, he went 6 for 11, 47 yards, 15 rushing yards, and a rushing touchdown. He has been progressively getting better as it's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And beforehand, it was Jacoby Brissett's going to be the starter. That was kind of like the staple. But now it's kind of just well, are they going with Jacoby or are they going to go with Drake May? Now there's a conversation being had about it as to where it was kind of just they're going to start Brissett and May's going to learn. But I feel like there's conversations starting because of how well Drake May has progressed so far.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't watched much. I haven't watched any of the Patriots. I haven't watched any of Drake May, so I don't have much opinions about him. I'm gonna trust your opinion on it. I do like Drake May though as a prospect and as a quarterback. I think he's gonna be good for the Patriots. It's just a lot about getting a team around him, getting some offensive pieces around him. Their offensive line isn't very good anymore either. So I don't really know what they're gonna do about that. But I think Drake May is a really, really good starting point. I think he's already going to be better than Mac Jones was for him. Even though rookie years, Mac Jones was a pretty damn good quarterback. He actually made the Pro Bowl, I'm pretty sure.
Damn.
But that was 2020, wasn't it? That was the weird Pro Bowl year.
Yeah, that was when he hit the gritty.
That is when he hit the gritty. Yikes! We don't have to. We don't have to go. We don't have to go about that. But yeah, no. Shout out to Drake May. I do wish him well, man. I do wish him well. Now I'm trying to. So, is there anything else you would say about Drake May? Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in there.
Oh no, that's about it. Just he's been playing better, getting progressively better, and just now there's conversations that need to be had. Well, for week 1.
I think it's Drake May's job. If I'm being real with you.
A lot of people were saying it was Jacoby Brissett's, and now there's conversations. I don't know.
Well, I think now. I think I think I would have originally said yes, Jacoby Brissett, but I think I don't know. I do think I'm trying to find this, but I do think now Drake May should be the starter. I guess the only thing you have to worry about is injuries, but that's not something I want to wish on anybody. I'm trying to find the team stats for this game, and it's being dumb. Let's see if I type it in this way. Well, I'll just go ahead and say my. Okay, yeah. My last winner is the Seahawks defense.
Oh, okay.
And this is something that I know at least I brought up in the NFC questions as I think we might have actually both brought it up. Maybe I don't remember. Just talk about how this defense, this front pass rush is just not good for the Seahawks. But they've honestly been pretty decent to start. I'm trying to pull up the exact stats, and it's being kind of dumb with me right now. At least the Tennessee Titans game, they did lose 15-16. They forced a turnover though. I think there was. Can I get that? Why I don't know why it's not showing defensive stats. It's getting a little frustrating.
Yeah, you said the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
See if I can pull it up for you.
I have the team stats.
Against the Chargers?
Yeah, you can start with the Chargers. I knew they had a good defensive game against the Chargers. Whatever. My point being, while you pull that up, is that they've looked pretty good. They're still not going to be a top defense in this league, but they're more of a winner because they're exceeding my expectations so far. Not that they're going to be a great defense, but they're exceeding my expectations so far. In a couple games, they forced a couple turnovers, had some good sacks. Just have looked genuinely better than I thought they were going to be. So that's kind of the reason they're my last winner. I just wanted to shout out to them because this is a team that I did talk bad about their front four in the last episode. So I just wanted to give them their flowers pretty much.
Yeah, in the game against the Chargers, they had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 6 pass deflections, 5 QB hits, and they did get a pick.
Mm-hmm. And I know they got a pick. They got a pick in Tennessee too.
Yeah, the pick was against Easton Stick in this one. Let me just go to the other game.
The other one was Malik Willis. They got a pick on Malik Willis.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this seemed to be good. I mean, Sam Howell has kind of been tearing it up in the preseason.
He was another guy. I was debating putting the defense or Sam Howell. So but I was like, I talked about the defense, so I might as well put out, a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Akota, he got the pick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they had 3 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 6 pass deflections again, and another 5 QB hits. I mean, it seems like they are breaking up passes, getting picks. They're doing everything that they can do.
Yeah, they're getting pressure, which is a thing I didn't think they were going to be able to. And again, it's 2 preseason games, so I'm not reading into it deep. But it's 5. That's 10 total QB hits, 10 tackles for loss total, 12 pass deflections, 6-7 total sacks. They've been playing pretty good deep. They've been playing good defense these first 2 games.
Yes, they have, and I don't know. It just the Seahawks, like we've talked about before. I think we talked about last episode or when we did the NFC questions. Their offense is ready to roll.
Yeah,
their offense is ready to roll. They just need a quarterback, and then the question is their defense too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Do you think there's conversations between Sam Howell and
No, Geno Smith? No, not right now.
Conversations right now?
Not right now. No, but I do think this is somebody that we don't know how long Geno Smith is going to be good for because of his whole past. Geno Smith right now, they're riding a high. He's playing really, really well, so we're just going to keep him in there. I do think Sam Howell, if he again, he wasn't great in Washington, had a bad offensive line, but wasn't great in Washington. If maybe he's got a good backup plan right now, where it's you know what, if Geno Smith is really not playing well, we can put in Sam Howell and just maybe see what he does. Maybe Sam Howell ends up being the long-term option, with another year or 2 with Geno Smith.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think the conversations are there now because Geno Smith is playing so well. But it's definitely not locked in. You know what I mean?
Howell in Washington last year, 17 games, threw for almost 4,000 yards, but had 21 touchdowns to 21 picks.
Mm-hmm.
He was on that Jameis Winston 30 for 30 type arc.
Yes, he was. Decision making sometimes was just absolutely piss poor, and I got to see that firsthand twice a year.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that you get sacked 65 times.
Yes, offensive line was atrocious there in Washington.
So I feel like with Seattle having an arguably better offensive line for him, if he does get that chance to shine, I feel like he will show it. I mean,
yeah, that's our winners and losers, isn't it? You got anything else? Is that your last one?
I don't think I have anything offhand. That was the last one.
Well,
back to the Bo Nix. Do you know when the last time a rookie quarterback started for the Broncos? Started week 1.
Would it be Tim Tebow?
No.
Tim Tebow didn't start. Was it pre Tim Tebow?
Yes.
That's right, Tim Tebow. I don't even know. Jay Cutler?
Nope, you got to go back a little bit.
I don't know.
It was John Elway.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well,
yeah.
I didn't dig me that far back.
Yeah, those are the only 2 Broncos quarterbacks to start week 1.
Interesting.
That's according to ESPN. So if ESPN's wrong, go yell at them.
Yeah, go yell at ESPN Studios. They'll love that. But man, I guess that's gonna wrap up our football talk for this episode, man.
Yeah,
and our winners and losers. We can go ahead and talk about our fantasy draft. We're gonna try to do it this Saturday. See how that goes. There's only 4 of us in this league, so it's gonna be a fucking stacked league, stacked teams.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's always fun to do it because I'm in a regular league with I think 10 or 12 people, so it's that's more normal. But it's always fun every year we do our group of 4 people because it's okay, now you got 4 fully loaded teams and just seeing who plays the best.
Yeah. Also, October 22nd, I believe, is the kickoff for the NBA season.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's less than 2 months away, isn't it? 2 months from tomorrow.
Yeah, 2 months away, and I think the season kicks off with Knicks, Boston, and Minnesota Lakers.
Mm. You know what? I think we're gonna try to, just like we did last year. We're gonna try to get to a game again, a Washington game again this year.
Oh,
So
I want to.
maybe we'll get a live recording episode at the Capital One Arena.
That would go crazy. That would go crazy.
That would go crazy. We'll see. We'll get some interviews, not of any players, just some random ass fans that are walking inside. Hey guys, we got like 20,000 subscribers. Just come be on this podcast. They don't gotta know. They don't gotta know the truth. But we'll see. That I'm really excited. That was a really good time last time we went.
Oh, it was. I enjoyed it. This next time we go, I hope we get a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Because we were up in practically the nosebleed seats.
Yeah, it was kind of a last minute thing too. We were just like, hey, like we should go to a game. It was like $15 a seat. Like it was super cheap up there. So it was just like, hey, the boys get cheap tickets and go to a game. But yeah, no, I think next time I would like to spend a little bit more money, get a little bit closer.
Oh yeah.
But it was still a lot of fun. And, you know, yeah, next step is an NFL game or a college football game, but those are way more money.
Yeah, those are not cheap.
I think I remember looking up because Dallas is playing in Pittsburgh this year, and I looked up those tickets like $300 some for like nosebleeds. I'm like, no.
Yeah, me and my family we are Pittsburgh fans, but we're huge Tennessee fans, and we were looking at tickets for the Tennessee Bama game this year. Cheapest tickets were like $400.
Yep,
insane.
Yep. Try to go to a Penn State whiteout game this year. Yeah, that ain't happening.
That's gonna be interesting. Also, crazy thing. Tennessee's stadium, Neyland Stadium, holds like I think like 104,000. They're thinking about adding in a third deck, which would then take the total number of people to between 120 and 130,000.
That's nuts. How does that rank among like most fans in college football?
They're top 5 right now, but if they would do the next deck edition, they'd be number 1.
That's crazy.
I think number 1 is the Big House with Michigan, and I think it holds 110. Not 100% sure.
We talk about Tennessee, huh? Roll Tide. No, I'm kidding. I am not a Bama fan at the slightest.
You sure about that?
I'm not a Bama fan at all, man. Oh God. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we get up out of here?
James Franklin. I think it's James.
No. No, we don't have to visit that. We don't have to visit that. We don't have to visit that.
You sure about that?
I'm very sure about that. We do not need to talk about it. All Penn State fans are well aware of how bad we are against good teams. We have to play Ohio State, Michigan every year. We don't got to worry about that.
3-20 against top 10 ranked teams.
Yeah, he's still the head coach, huh?
Yeah, he's not that good. Not that good.
No.
Alrighty. Do you got anything else?
Nah, man, that's gonna do it, man. That's our first not in person, but like live recording. Virtual. We definitely had some moments where we had to figure things out, but I think we got to do it pretty smoothly.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm down to do this again.
Yeah, man. If you guys like it, let us know by subscribing. Obviously, go check out my YouTube channel, Cloud2K. I do college football, Madden. Maybe I'll do some more Madden. I don't know. NBA 2K25 is coming out in like a month, so we're getting more videos of that. I'm also streaming on YouTube now. I'm doing a separate college football dynasty, only on stream, not videos, but only on stream. And I'm going to start streaming Alien Isolation. And this guy, Levi here, might be there with me. We don't know. We'll see. Huh?
I will probably be there.
All right. So if you guys want to check that out, go check out Cloud2K, CLOUD 2K. Easy. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers. Let's go, baby. Woo!
Hit 200.
I haven't checked. I don't even know if I hit 200 yet, but still, the goal right now is 500.
500 by the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll do it for you guys, and I guess we'll see you next Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.